390 Wagon Master here. So I'm just going to warn you right now, this is going to be a long video. This is the RADIODDITY QT40 10-meter mobile CB radio. Yeah, I said that. So right now it's a 10-meter radio. Anyway, first off, I want to thank Mike, Masochist, otherwise known as Big Mike, UDX216 here in Salt Lake City, one of my neighbors. So thank you, Big Mike. I appreciate this. He's nice enough to let me unbox this new radio and do the mod and show you guys about this radio. He is happy with these. In fact, so happy that this is his second one. So he now is the owner of 2 of these puppies. So if you've watched his channel for any length of time, you kind of know that I'm not really a fan of the new radios in general, overall. I don't like all the microprocessor noise, just the big noise floor. And, you know, they do have fairly decent selectivity, but sometimes certain models of radios, the inherent noise of all of the surface mount technology and the basically radio on a chip and all of that will mess those radios up. So anyway, he keeps telling me how much he likes his QT40. So anyway, he was nice enough to let me take this one, and we're going to take a look at it. So out of the box, this has had no mods to it or anything like that. I'm going to do the mod, show you guys how that goes. And I know this isn't news to a lot of you guys out there, but I think we're going to have fun taking a look at this radio. So out of the box, I'm going to key it up. I'm on channel 1 on the radio. This thing comes out of the box stock at about 7 watts. About 7 watts bird over there. And what was our frequency? Our low frequency here was 28 megs. And now I have not read the manual, really. You kind of have to, excuse me, in a way to kind of get it going. So we're going to learn together. That's why I say this video may be a few minutes. So we're at 29,195. So it looks like it's going to cover the hammy ham band quite well. Let's see here. Yeah, 29,695. And then what's interesting, you know, I went to high band, just like an old school Superstar. And then we have our A through F mode here. But when we go to D, it goes into an error mode. And I believe the error mode was too low or too high a voltage. I don't remember. And it just stays like that. It doesn't key up. So there's 3 bands that aren't usable, and it's stuck in the 10-meter band. Now, that'll be fine if you're going to use this for 10 meters. So there you go. I mean, you don't have repeater split, so you couldn't use the 10-meter repeaters. However, you could do 10-meter simplex and, of course, sideband. No CW, that's all right. Anyway, so did you notice this when I keyed up? It just showed me my SWR. So for you safety Sallies out there, I'm on a dummy load, so we're not interfering with the outside world. So this is, you know, we're not transmitting here illegally, but a 1-to-1. So we've got a good match. I hope so. And anyway, pretty cool. I'll just go over a few of the features, and then we'll tear into this puppy. So we have volume squelch. We have fine and RF gain. This is our RF gain on the outer knob. The center knob is basically the clarifier. Okay, this is programmable for different steps and different band spread, I guess you could say. We have PA, FM, AM, upper lower sideband, and of course our A through F bands here. This is the RF power adjustment. Let's see, you know, I was at 12 o'clock. Let's see what it'll do on high. Wow, this single dead key on high, about 12 watts. Okay, and then of course our mic gain right here, which has that center slot detent to it. So that's interesting. That's kind of cool. They use the same pots. And then of course our channel selector that has a pretty good feel to it. Now that's going to be a rotary encoder, but it still does have a good feel to it. Okay, we have our transmit receive light. We have our band high and low, as you saw us do that a second ago. It does have the weather channel in it.
In the lower 40s, chance of precipitation 90%. Christmas Day.
Through 7. Oh, I always thought there was just 7. Okay, I guess there's 10. Yeah, whatever. That's something I don't really get into. Okay, so we have our echo off, on, and set. Not sure what that is yet. Haven't really, got into the manual. This is, we can have a monitor. That's kind of cool. So we can see what we sound like. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not really sure if that's adjustable or not. And then, of course, that's off. And then our 10kc switch, which looks to be, let's see, what was that, 29.7 from 29.695. So that looks to be 5K, but probably because it's locked. NRC, so this is our noise reduction circuitry, off, on, and then you can set it, which is kind of cool. You can set it for receive and transmit only, and I guess receive only. Anyway, something like that. I'll have to bite into that later. And then noise blanker, A&L, on and off. Noise blanker, A&L combined together. Of course, we have a 4-pin mic plug, the proper mic plug here. Cobra wiring, you can put a Cobra mic on here, but you're going to need to use the stock mic for programming or biting into some of the menu on this. Okay, so we'll show you how to do that later on in the video. This is one of those fancy schmancy Electret type mics. Now, I know that a lot of people, first thing they want to do is put in a static mobile mic or, a Turner or, some sort of a power mic on there. But that was me as well when I first started getting into these newer radios. But quite frankly, you don't need it. You're not going to really be upgrading, in my opinion. The aftermarket mics just don't, act very good on these radios like they do just an old school standard CB radio. So anyway, all that modern technology, but here you go. So no fun. You're going to, again, use the stock mic, but we're going to need these up-down functions here. Let's take a look at the back. Okay, so on the rear panel, we have this heat sink, and it has rounded edges on it, which is kind of nice. We've got that standard unit and clone type looking chassis here. SO239, standard 3-pin, what I call unit and power plug. PA speaker, 3.5 millimeter mono, 3.5 millimeter mono external speaker, and a little data port. So that's interesting. That's, what is that, USB-D, I want to say? I can't remember what USB configuration that is. But anyway, it's the big one. So obviously we can program this from the computer like the Quad 5, stuff like that. So pretty cool. I understand these radios do around 30 watts or so. So anyway, let's take the lids off, see what she looks like inside. Okay, pretty interesting. We paid for a whole radio and we only got half of it. So, very interesting. Well, to some of you, that that board may look somewhat familiar or close to it. But we have a driver, 2 finals. These are IRF 520s. So this radio is going to swing. All, of course, surface mount technology, but standard electrolytics where necessary along this. I'm going to assume this is the audio and the regulator circuit. The regulator is heavily heat sinked. That is pretty darn cool. I'm glad they did that. And yeah, I like this. This is really interesting. Radio on a chip. Okay, so I see where we're going to do the mod at. It's going to be one of these jumpers right. It's going to be this jumper right here. So we'll zoom in and we'll do the mod. Real quick. This has one of these newer black speakers here. Very efficient. These really don't sound too bad when they're on the right or on a good audio circuit, and it's got that Ranger look, that Ranger feel to it. But as far as the chassis itself goes, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm trying to see here if we have any VRs or anything like this. We have some jumpers here. I'm going to assume that these are going to be for bias adjustment. But as far as golden screwdriver work, you're not going to be doing much to this radio. And as I've learned here in the past couple of years, you just don't really need to do that. So that's pretty cool. I love that classic look. These look like some pretty nice controls here. And as you saw, we have the analog meter on the front. So it's a very, very nicely built radio. They've got an IC here, like a 16 pin or so, with a heatsink on it. That's interesting. But they've got a lot of beef. Come on, camera, focus. Sorry, stick my big paw in there. But with all those electrolytics in there, you know, that looks to be like a pretty serious power supply and audio section in there. All right, enough is enough. Let's modify this puppy. Okay, so I've got my tool and I'm ready to do the mod. Oh no, wait. Just kidding. All right. So, front of the radio, we've got this shield here, this RF shield right here. And we have this 3-pin jumper. And currently, we are on pins 1 and 2. What we're going to do is we're just going to pull this jumper and go over to 2 and 3. So get your channel locks out. And we're just going to pull that out. Right? So there's our 3 pins. And we're just going to put it just like that. That's it. So, you know, I'm not trying to put the CB repair guys out of business or anything like that, but there's no need in paying some guy $25 to do that, right? Or whatever, you know, whatever they're charging or whatever they're, you know, either adding on to the price of the radio as a final price or as an add-on. But that's all you need to do. There's no golden screwdriver work. There's nothing magical you could do. I guess you could maybe upgrade that cap right there to a larger one or something like that. But don't fall for that stuff. These things don't need any of that crap. So anyway, let's put her back together and see what we've done. Okay, so the lid's back on. It's fired up. Let's take our alignment tools out of here. So when I first hooked this up, right after I unboxed it, I wanted to take out the annoying keyboard beep or whatever you call it, the beep, and it's really super loud, super annoying. So I did bite into the menu to learn how to get that out of here. So other than that, this thing is still, again, box stock. So we are on low band, position A. And I'm receiving something now. Some static, something came alive. So let's see where we are at frequency-wise. We are on 25615 with an RF output of about 11 watts. Right? We're on high, yeah. Okay. So 25615. It always reverts to channel 9, apparently, when you swap bands, but once you've set it on a channel and you go back to that last band, it will be where you left off. So that's kind of interesting. 26065 at about 12 watts. C band. $26,515. Okay. Just a hair over 12. 27065, so there's channel 1. Oh wait, I mean that's channel 9. There we go, 965, thank you. All right, 965, channel 1. Of course, that'll be 40405. This should be, what, 415? 27.415 at about 14 watts now. $27 26965. Let me go back here. There we go. 27865. There we go. And 28305. So that band spread right there from 25.6 to 28.3 would be about the normal band spread of a 6-band Galaxy. So that's pretty interesting. Now remember, we are on the low band setting. So let's go up here. Let's quit messing around. We'll just go. Let's go down here. Because if I'm not mistaken, this should be like 28.315. I'm gonna say 28.315. And now we're about 14 watts dead key. So let's forget all the middleman stuff here. Let's just go right to the. Let's see how high we go. That's our highest one. Let's see how that goes. Wait a second. Wait, what? 25.605. That's interesting. Why did it do that, I wonder? All right, let's 25.375. Oh, we just went low. Yeah, we just went lower. That's very interesting how they have that set up, isn't it? That's kind of crazy. 25.475. 485. Wow, that's pretty wild. So what's our highest? Oh yeah, look at that. 30.1 30.105. Wow. That's just that's crazy. So basically from 25 to 30 megs. Mid 25s to 30 megs. That's just crazy. What are we at the highest here? We are back down to about 13 watts. Where was that high part in the band there? About 13 as well. There we are. There's 14 right there at 28.3. So let's see, 28.3. Let's go up here a ways. This would be about the voice section. There we go. There's 4 1/4. So here's a pretty popular area of 10 meters with a 14 watt dead key. That's crazy. We're reading the bottom scale of the old birdie bird there. Let's try single sidebands just for giggles. Let's hit some mic gain in there, see what we're doing. RMS. Hello, radio. Hello, audio. 20 watts. All right, so not bad. Not bad at all. Let me get up here and go to some PEP feel-good wattses. Now, sometimes that makes a big difference. Let's see here. Hello, 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 hello. There's 38, 38. Hello, audio. 37, 38 watts. And just our average talk power here. See, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that with the stock mic. See if I can zoom over there. Let me do this here. Let's go over here. A little bit better. See if we can get that any closer. There we go. Again, let's try to get that focused. There we go. Again, we're on that bottom scale. So we got 20, 40, 60, 80, and a Hunsky. And this thing will just sit here and talk like this all afternoon. Look at that. Wow, that's crazy. That's 38 watts of talk power. 38 watts of PEP, I should say. Wow. Okay, well, there you go. Stay tuned for another video or so on this while I get used to this radio, but that was the unlocking process. Come on, camera. Pretty darn cool. Let's try to find our way back to where we should be. Low band, and I'm just guessing here, so I'm just kind of like guessing like I'm running a Superstar or a Ranger. Let's see where we're at here. We'll just put it on AM. 26.935, maybe D band. 26.965, there we go. So low and D band is the Citizens Band portion. And just for giggles, let's see what we're doing over here. Power-wise, the old PEP Feel-Good Wattses. All right, let's go to single sidebands. Hello, radio. Hello, 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 hello. Audio, 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 audio. Wow, that's just tickling 40. That's just crazy. You don't need a power mic on these things. It's just insane. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that, quite honestly, guys. So, anyway, there you go. And the bird don't lie, does it? Anyway, so yeah, pretty cool. The RADIODDITY QT40. The next video I will have posted here tomorrow, and we're gonna take a listen to it. And I'm gonna spend some airtime with this thing tonight, and kind of get a grip, and then I'll kind of give you my feedback on that in the next video. So I'll leave a link to that down below. Might even put a little tag somewhere up here in this corner, right there, right there. So you can, click on it and then go to the next video. I love the styling of that thing. Man, that is a good looking radio. All right, leave questions or comments down below. Thanks for watching.